Hey guys, welcome to a little bit of woo woo. I'm recording this on 5/5 at 2:45 Pacific. Oh my god, you guys, did you see the Trump tweet about reopen Alcatraz? Is that great? I love that. Didn't you guys think like wouldn't this have been such an awesome like April Fool's Day joke? Because it's just oh, made me happy to see that. Um, and I started to Google, like, can he do that? Because it's technically it's a California state park now. If you guys have been there, and it's also some of you have been there, you know, it's not that big. It's just not that big. It's like smaller than a parking lot at a prison. What I assume, because I've never been to a prison other than Alcatraz. Anyway, so I Google it. I start to type in like can, and then I just got TRU, and it auto populated Trump reopen Alcatraz, which I found hilarious. So the answer is no. I don't see that happening. The funny thing is, though, he's not going to give up on the prison thing because I feel like he wants a prison in his name, and so I wouldn't be terribly surprised. I'm not sure on this one, but I wouldn't be terribly surprised if we don't hear about him looking at like Hawaii as a place to put a big prison because he likes the idea of a prison on an island. He likes the idea of it being where people can see it. I think he would love to have a prison with his name on it. Alcatraz, he's gonna get talked out of that, but I thought to my mind it was like, is he joking? And he's not. He's serious. He is serious about that one. But it's not gonna happen, okay? And also Hawaii is there's just no way that Hawaii is gonna allow that. But I do feel like that might be in the conversation. Like, where can we put it? Okay, where can we put a different prison that's on an island where people can see it? Hawaii is gonna come up. I don't think don't worry, guys, and from in Hawaii. It's not going to happen. Nobody's going to let that happen. But no, I don't see that happening. But I did. Oh, that was so amusing today. I love that. I love that. I'll be honest with you. That made me happy. Okay, so jobs report on Friday came in, and I thought it was really interesting. So people who follow macroeconomics already know this. That jobs report has always been really kind of questionable. It's very lagging data. The other thing that's interesting on it too is I think that unemployment did kick up a bit, but what you guys already know is that if somebody gets laid off from their job, in most states, unemployment is just not that much money. And so what ends up happening is they apply for jobs. They'll apply for Instacart, Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, Grubhub, like all those little giggy type jobs. Do you realize the labor board counts each one of those as an individual job? So if I got laid off from a job and I did all of those, which everybody who does one of them is going to apply for all of them, they now have 4 jobs. 4 jobs have been created. 4 jobs go in the job creation category of the unemployment report. So all I'm saying is don't listen to that. You guys know. You guys have all known somebody who's been laid off. You know the numbers are quite a bit higher than we're letting on. Um, it makes for entertainment, but I would just kind of just take it for the grain of salt and know that a lot of these stories, these little narratives are kind of exaggerated, made up, try to make us feel a certain way. My base case, honestly, my base case, I know this is, I do intuitive work for a living. I'm also a hypnotherapist, but my base case is that politicians talking their line. I mean, that's just the way I don't care who it is. I always think that. That's just the way that's the way I'm wired. I tend to lean a little libertarian too. So it seems like I'm a Democrat by some of the things I say. It seems like I'm a Republican for some of the things to say, but I'm kind of more libertarian, I think, than I let on. Very liberal on some issues, though. I will own that one. Okay. So people have asked, people have booked sessions. Is this leading to the end? Is America going away? No, it's not. It's not. We're going to get a different politician. Eventually, there's going to be some more level-headedness in the White House, less of this like chaotic craziness. I know some of you guys like some of the things that he's 47's been up to. Respect, that's okay. Sometimes we can agree and disagree, and that's fine. We can still be friends. But I don't love this chaos. I don't love the craziness, and I think it's messing with the markets. You guys know I follow the markets. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. So one thing I will say, I do want to throw in there because I do see a recession coming. You guys are, you don't need someone like me to say the recession is kind of on the horizon there. But one thing I will say is that I'm just closing my Outlook so it's not popping up. One thing I will say, I do feel like this administration is going to get blamed for a lot of things that they didn't do. Now, Anybody who's watched my videos for a while, you know that I'm not a big fan of Bidenomics, not a big fan. But I do feel like, all those stimmies that were thrown into the marketplace were a little bit like piling up hay, throwing some kerosene on it. And all we needed was somebody walking around with a lit match. Somebody with a lit match, maybe a lit match that said tariffs on the side. Drop that sucker in that hay and it explodes. So I do think we are going to be heading for a recession. I feel like we're already in it. I mean, anyone who owns a business knows that things are slower. Even McDonald's will tell you that. Is it gonna be insanely bad? I don't see it being as bad as, like, the GFC, but things are gonna be slow for a while, and you guys, everybody's gonna need to make adjustments. We're gonna be hearing a lot more about layoffs. The more troubling issue isn't so much the layoffs, it's that nobody's hiring. So the hiring freezes that have gone around. So somebody loses their job, and they aren't able to replace it with something other than, Uber Eats and Lyft and Instacart and all of those kinds of jobs, whatever. But that's gonna be tough for a while. I love entrepreneurship for you guys. I love you guys looking into that, figuring out how to use the skills that you got from your job to turn into a little business, a little side hustle that doesn't involve, using your car all the time. I love that for you. Just, start thinking about that because each one of you has a passion or something you're really interested in, and you want to put it out there. I kind of love some of these YouTube content creators are creating content about things I didn't know anything about. Peter Sentinelli did a whole video about, he went to the border and would talk to not border patrol agents, but sheriffs involved in the border patrol. And it was all fascinating. I had no idea that stuff was going on in Yuma. So check it out if you're interested. If you're one of those people, start that. It's fun, start creating something. Just know that this too shall pass. There will be a more prosperous time. I do see a more prosperous time coming. I do see for a lot of people, though, this being a very good year because there will be some opportunities. This is for entertainment purposes only. Don't listen to me when it comes to the markets. Don't listen to anybody who does what I do for when it comes to the marketplaces because timing is really rough. But what I'm kind of seeing is that later on there may be some buying opportunities for the stock market that could be helpful. To maybe some buying opportunities for the bond market. Just know what you're up to. Don't do it unless you know what you're doing. Entertainment purposes only. Like I said, don't listen to me, but I'm looking for some buying opportunities later on in the year. And the other thing I would say on that is that, you as a family, as a unit, unless you've got a family, have conversations about money, work together as a team and know where the investments are if you have them, or if you don't have them, what can we do? What is our number to buy in? Have those kinds of conversations even with your children so that they understand how money works and how thinking about the future is really beneficial and keeps you out of these kind of tough situations, especially when it comes to student loans, because man, these kids are getting signed up for these loans they can never repay. It's just insane. It's absolutely insane. And speaking of student loans, a lot of those people are having to pay for the first time, right? People are having to pay for the first time. They're now starting to allow for foreclosures on homes that for a long time wasn't allowed. So we're going to be starting to see some more houses hit the marketplace. Before you buy a house, do a lot of research. Don't listen to a real estate agent. They're trying to sell you a house. Do a lot of independent research. Every market is different. I know I have a lot of real estate agent clients, and some of them are starving, and some of them are in places that, like San Diego, things are pretty good, or they seem pretty good. I'm just saying, do more research than you think you need to do, because the last thing you want to do when it comes to a house is catch a falling knife. Because it's not like a stock, you can't just sell it. You want to be the person, you don't want to be the bag holder when it comes to a house. So know what you're getting yourself into, and put some more coins down, because I do see later on some really good buying opportunities for people who have coins that they've put aside so they can buy a house. I'm seeing that absolutely happen. Absolutely. Impeachment. Somebody asked me about that. No. I mean, no and. Okay, no and. I know somebody introduced a bill for impeachment. This would be his third time being impeached. And he didn't leave last two times either. And I don't see it happening this time around. Having said that, I don't see him doing a full term. I still feel like he's got some health issues. I still feel like those are going to rear its ugly head. And I don't feel like he may just not survive a full term. He's like 90, he's almost 80 years old, you guys. But also I think there's going to be some scandals coming up that may cause him to want to be removed or just remove himself from the situation. I don't see him doing a full term. I'm just telling you that right now. And I think he knows that, which is why they're pushing so hard to get this stuff done before the midterms come and they feel like they lose momentum and they lose power. But yeah, no, he's not getting impeached. Not this time around. Let's put it that way. Not this time around. Maybe later, maybe, but for now, that's not what it, you guys didn't need to tell you that. You don't need to tell you that. There's one thing that I was hoping you guys can explain to me. Maybe somebody in the comments. Okay, so I'm tuning into the Harvard. I'm trying to figure out why is he going after Harvard? Like, why Harvard, right? Doesn't all of our good medical research come from Harvard? Which, by the way, when I was researching that, I figured out a lot of it doesn't. Just saying. Okay, so all I could see, all my guides were showing was that it was about money. It was about trying to cut off somebody's money supply. But isn't it always about that? So if somebody knows something that maybe one of you conspiracy theory people knows, I would be curious because I can't get any more than that from it's just about money. It's about cutting off some money supply. It does feel like it's some egos. It also doesn't feel like it was his idea. It feels like he got that from somebody else. I will say some of these more, I want to say crazy. I want to say more disruptive ideas that he's got don't come from him. They were other people's ideas. They were other ideas that he saw. In fact, I even wondered, because I looked on the History Channel, was there something about Alcatraz on the History Channel like last weekend that made him think about that? I don't know. I didn't see anything, so maybe not. Maybe that wasn't that. But that was something that made me think about it. So if you guys have figured out the Harvard thing, let me know. All I could get was that it had to do with money. Maybe I'll get more later, but that's what I was seeing. Frankly, I was Harvard, like, isn't that where all the good lawyers come from? Oh my God, I'd be so scared to take them on if it were me. Oh my goodness. But I don't have his job. I wouldn't do his job. I don't know why any sane person would want it. That's just me. Okay. Somebody asked me about being pregnant. Not me. Them. Like, how do you know if you're about to be pregnant or if you you want to understand you're trying to get pregnant, you can't, you're looking for signs. And there's a couple of things that I've worked with a lot of clients over the years, and a couple of things that seem to show up before a soul enters your body. And as a little baby going to be coming into the world, um, they come around your house. They'll do little kid things. I don't know why I'm being told to tell you this. So somebody watching, maybe just like 2 or 3 of you guys want to know this. And so the guys were like, tell them. Okay, so I'm telling you. They'll set off smoke detectors. They'll do like ding dong dash. You'll hear somebody knocking at the door and they won't be there. And it's the child that's going to be coming into your body that's going to come into the world through you. They'll also do things like mess with the dog. They'll be they'll mess with the dog. They want to go see the dog. They want to go see the cat. They want to go see their room. They want to see what kind of loving family. What do they have to emotionally prepare for? What do they have to expect? And they're so looking forward to it because they love you so much. They're on the other side where everything's all about love and they're excited. And maybe they've got a sister they're coming into the world with, or brother there, or there's already a brother or sister there. Trust me, they're popping around. So this is how you can tell. Now, having said that, if you're worried about getting pregnant or trying to get pregnant and you're not seeing those signs, I'm not saying that that's the only way to tell. I'm just saying that's what they do. They set off smoke detectors. They love to mess with that. For some reason, that's easy for them to do when they're on the other side, floating around the house, checking things out, figuring out where things are, where the playground is. That's how you know. Uh, I had something I wanted to, I was seeing that I wasn't sure about talking about because I can't get a pinpoint location, but I do see a pretty nasty earthquake coming. It's people that don't look like me. So it doesn't feel like it's California or Oregon or Washington. It doesn't feel like it's the United States. It feels like the Indian Ocean. I do feel like there's another earthquake coming in, and it's going to be kind of a big one. I'm not seeing a massive unaliving event, which tells me that it could be a place where they already get some seismic activity and they've prepared for this. They don't, like their houses are on stilts. I don't know, but I am seeing a kind of a big one in the not so distant future. It's not you. It's not going to happen to you, but just I'm seeing it. So if you're planning a trip, it may affect some travel. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I do want to talk about holiday travel because people are always asking. Oh, I already talked about that last time. Last thing I wanted to say is I know people are really concerned about empty shelves. You guys have watched videos. A lot of those videos, because I was watching some of those videos like empty shelves in stores, but they were showing video from 2020. You guys already know that. You guys already know that. There's not a lot of empty shelves right now. And I don't think it'll ever get terribly, terribly bad. Of course, if you're the person who needs something and you can't find it, you're going to be upset. But I want to share a quick story on that. During the 2020 event, I had a problem. I curbed my car. Have you guys ever done this? I ripped the side of the tire on a car. My car has unusual sized tires, and there's no saving that tire. It's dead. It's dead. And this was during that time when you couldn't get tires. So I called and called and called and called. Nobody has the tires. And you can get them in a few months. We think we'll have them in a few months, but that would just meant leaving my car in the driveway for a few months. So I just heard a little voice in my head. It's like, call your mechanic. I'm like, I'm arguing with the voice. I'm telling you guys, I'm arguing with the voice. My mechanic doesn't sell tires. Just call him anyway. Call him. The owner of the mechanic shop that I was going to had bought the same car I have for his kid. I was buying the same car, by the way, as an 18-year-old kid. Um, they had ordered tires for him, and for some reason they sent him 2 sets, and he was like, "I don't, some customers are gonna need it, so I'm just gonna throw them in the back." And I'm like, "Can I be that customer?" So 3 days later, I call and I said, "I know you don't sell tires, but do you happen to know a hookup for these special tires?" And, "Yeah, we've got 4 in the back. We'll sell them to you, at not that much." Could have hosed me, but they didn't. The reason I'm telling you this story is because that's gonna happen to you. You're gonna need something, and it's gonna be dropped in the lap of a friend, and they don't need it. You're gonna need something, and it'll be your neighbor will have it, or you'll hear about or somebody will get an extra one, they don't want it. That kind of stuff has happened to you before. It's gonna happen to you again, so I want you to have a little faith. Everything's gonna be okay, and this will resolve itself. I absolutely see plenty of Christmas crap at Costco. I know that's not what they call it. I see plenty of that kind of stuff at Costco around Christmas time. I know I was reading an article that they hadn't ordered that stuff yet because they were trying to figure out pricing. I don't know where they're getting it from. It may not be China. It's going to be okay. Um, but there could be some finagling and some challenges. I want you to just know that it's going to be fine, and don't get caught up in the idea that the sky is falling until you see the actual sky falling. I'm just saying, everything's going to be good. So, with that, hope you have a great day and make friends with your neighbors. Also, if you're hiking, just a little PSA: if you're hiking, don't focus so much on the ground, trying to not trip over the tree branches, the tree little roots, that you end up missing the tree branch that's like right at head level, and end up getting a little humbling event for that. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.